everybody, and hello, Mr. GOLAS. Mr. GOLAS is our town's administrator, and he decided to come in today and had the great idea to talk to the third graders about the town administration. So today we're going to be talking about how the town runs in the town administration and the upcoming May 1st election. So I have my first question, which is, what is your overall role in the town hall, and what are some of your major responsibilities?
So I run the day-to-day operations of the town. So I oversee basically all the town's departments, including police, fire, treasurer, collector, building inspector, you name it. It all kind of falls under my lap. Ultimately, I answer to the Board of Selectmen, who kind of give me my goals and objectives and policy direction. And from there, I make sure that what they want to see ends up happening. So in a nutshell, that's it. And so almost anything that you can think of that might involve with the town eventually passes over my desk.
Oh, that's a big job.
Yeah.
Well, so now we know a little bit more about your role, but what about the departments and the boards in the town hall? How did that correspond with you?
So everyone kind of has a role, and I know that everyone, when they come to town, has a different thing that they want to do, whether it's, pull a permit to build a new house, or it's to pay a tax bill, or it's to get something from the board, file a complaint with the Board of Health because they think that something, might be, not too healthy in town. Yeah. So people usually treat these things as one thing or another, but in all reality, everybody works together. They all work, what affects one department affects everyone else. So my main objective is to ensure that what happens in one department carries through to all the other ones, and that everyone's on the same page as we go forward, and no one doesn't know what's happening in a certain department. So, my job is to kind of make sure that everything works together. The Board of Health, they have their own elected board, which kind of governs their own policies and procedures, and kind of acts as that conduit to the voters of town, so that way they're always held accountable to the citizens. So it's almost, the town of Charlton almost acts like this giant ecosystem that's essentially always run by the people, and eventually gets administered by the people that are in the office.
Well, that's wonderful. But you said, so the Selectmen is initially your boss.
Right.
Your boss. So do you know what, their role is in a bigger aspect? Or?
So in the bigger aspect, they kind of act as that direct connection to everyday voters of the town, the 12,000 plus people that live here. They are elected by the people that live there and are basically accountable to them. So if they aren't doing the job that the people want to see, then eventually they get voted out of office. But they're put in there to do the things that the town as a whole want them to do.
Well, that's good. And that goes up to my next thing, is that the May 1st election is coming up, which is it just for the select?
No, every board and commission that is elected is up for re-election, and there are a number of seats on every board, and they're typically rotates, so that way in a single year you're not going to get rid of everyone on a single board. So it's like the Board of Selectmen is 5 members. We're going to be re-electing 2 members. We have 2 members that are running for an open seat right now, and 1 member that's running for re-election for his seat. So there will be some change to the board this year, but that's the beauty of town government, is that it kind of gives everybody a chance to participate. But also, the Board of Health, they have another contested race, and there's also seats available for places like Sewer Commission and Recreation Commission and all these little nuanced departments that give oversight over all these different departments in town.
Okay. So can you just explain, your role? Do you have a role in this election? Do you make any decisions?
I don't make any decisions in this.
Just the people?
It's strictly the voters that make the decisions. And whatever the will of the voters is is
It is what it is.
directs me in my job. So you know, this is a great opportunity for all the registered voters in town to really get excited and come out and elect their new leaders. So
Well, that's great.
And
New
our
leaders. Which is one of my mother is actually running for select man, woman.
Yes.
Select woman.
Select board.
The select board this
Yes.
year, her first time. So
Nice.
that's great.
Very good.
Well, do you have anything else to add for the third graders? Anything you think is important to know, or?
Well, I think it's just important to know that, you know, it's important to get involved as you grow in this town, to find new opportunities for volunteerism. It starts off, you know, from taking on every kind of volunteer opportunity that might give you know, a little bit of interest, and getting more and more involved, to eventually running for selectmen and wanting to kind of help direct the entire policy decision. But, you know, it's not just the people on the board, and it's not just the people that work at town hall that keep this town running. It's all the volunteers and individual residents that do, and every hand helps.
Well, that's great. Just one more question, because it just sparked one of my interests. Volunteering.
Yes.
So do you know, what are some examples of volunteering that kids could, like any age, even like high schoolers, maybe some younger children that could participate in the town of Charlton?
So, you know, it always depends on what your interests are. You know, recreation is a big thing that, you know, simple things like cleaning up fields and stuff like that. You know, you don't always have to be a appointed member of a board that has a vote in order to make a difference. You know, something, you know, as far as being a CERT team member that, you know, that's available to respond in emergencies and do things like help run a emergency shelter. That's something that, you know, that almost anybody in every age we could find a use for. And then just, you know, the simple things of like Earth Day coming up, you know, participating in Earth Day, finding a road, cleaning it up, you know, things such as simple as that are, you know, things that help this town, you know, stay well involved, you know, and stay as nice as it does.
Yep, we gotta keep this town great.
Yes.
And you're helping with that, and
That's
it's very noticed as well. So.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was
And-
great talking with all of you.
Yes.
So.
And thank you. That's all.